That's the guitar riff we need to see in this discussion. Time to turn our attention to the rugby magic of this weekend, brought to you by the very proud and very happy sponsors of the 2023 Rugby World Cup, Total Energies. And our very special guest this morning is someone who must be struggling to keep his objectivity at times like this, as sports journalist Abuyile Sabula. Abu, but tough job being a journo at weekends like this, but the best job in the world. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure you must be absolutely exhausted. We're going to wait just a moment. We're going to just enjoy the glow of the Springboks and talk about some of those other quarterfinals. Wales and Argentina. What a tussle. So much passion. Maybe not the cleanest, most beautiful rugby we've seen, but so much fire out there. For those who doubted the Argentinian spirit and commitment to the game and where they kind of fit into the bigger ecosystem, an incredible performance.
Yeah, definitely. I actually was one of those who doubted Argentina, coming into this quarterfinal against Wales. I thought, Wales had the upper edge. I thought they played really well. Dan Bigger really controlled the team. At fly half, they have, strong forwards. They have a strong outfield, players like Louis Reed-Zammit, So I thought Wales had it. I thought Wales were going straight to the
On paper they did, though.
On paper they did, but, Argentina, Argentina, they like to play on scrappy ball, on loose ball, and they did exactly that against Wales. They were trailing at halftime 10-6, came back in the second half, really, really stuck through, really made sure that, they get that win, and that interception in the final minutes of the game, that just sealed it up, and, it's nice to see, them going to the semi-finals against New Zealand, a team that they've beaten before, so it's not...
I was going to say, thank goodness we've had these pre-World Cup shock results. Exactly. Can they beat this New Zealand, though? A wounded beast New Zealand that came out there and absolutely dominated in their battle. They were just absolutely brilliant. I'm terrified of this All Blacks team now.
There was something else. They were brutal, they were clinical, they were dominant. I think those are some of the words that sum it up. And I heard someone saying that this is the best performance they've seen New Zealand play in the World Cup cycle in the past 4 years, which is something that can be true, because if you remember in the 3-match test series against Ireland, they won the first test, they lost the second, and then lost the third test. But this time around, they just looked different.
It's a bold,
They were confident. They were, they were clinical. Richie Mahunga was even bleeding at the end of the game. That's how serious this game was for them. And it was nice to see them play like that. And Ireland, the quarterfinal curse continues, I guess.
Oh, heartbreaking for this Irish team, and you can see what it meant to those players on their faces. Because if there was a time, this was their time.
This was the time.
But kudos for the All Blacks for just stepping up. Absolutely beautiful against the #1 team in the world. It looked more like a fight, a full combat kind of incredible physical tussle than rugby. England, Fiji, we've seen Fiji beat England before building up to this World Cup, and they earned that victory, and it looked like they were going to earn another one. How much pressure and... humans, I feel quite emotional thinking about this Fiji side, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But how much was going on in that match? Because it felt so much bigger than rugby, dude.
A lot of Fiji matches in this World Cup, I think, have felt more than just rugby. I think they've managed to win the hearts of many people around the world. And, coming into that game, I was, pro-Fiji, saying Fiji must go. Fiji must, they've done it before, they can do it again. But I think England, they came into the World Cup and no one gave them a chance. Everyone was, rooting them out. Everyone was saying England are not even going to make it to the semi-finals. And I think England have played the smartest rugby in this World Cup.
Yeah.
I think they've played the smartest, most clinical rugby. I think they've, understood the importance of scoreboard pressure, the importance of building up points. And
territory,
we saw that against Japan in their first game when George Ford was slotting over, the drop kicks. And, that's been very important for them. Obviously, gaining that confidence with Owen Farrell coming back into the team. So they've played the smartest rugby, and now they face the Boks next week in a repeat of 2019's final.
The final, and hopefully it'll be a repeat of 2019's final, man. That being said, they don't have those big ball carriers that I can see. They've got some amazing players, but Maro hasn't put his hand up as yet. Courtney hasn't really put his hand up as yet. I struggle to see how they're going to beat the Bok team that won ugly last night. It's one thing winning beautifully. It's one thing winning with the best team on the field with all the right choices happening. Mistakes, I mean, there were about 5 or 6 terrible mistakes on the trot from some of our best players. looked like all of the replacements were big mistakes and wrong, and then one by one, all of those replacements put their hand up and did something special. Winning ugly is sometimes what you need to do. If we go back to 1995, where you probably weren't even born yet, but...
I wasn't.
Yeah, we had a similar experience there. Do we believe in the Springbok side now? More than ever.
There's a sense of belief. I like to believe. I think personally, when I was watching the game yesterday, before the game kicked off, I was like, I feel my heart says the Boks will win, but my head says France will just, edge them out. But as the game went on, I started believing, there was a sense of belief that they could go all the way and win the quarterfinal. And when that final whistle hit and I saw the faces of those players, I was like, this team could go all the way.
Yeah.
It looks like they can go all the way. I just hope they haven't played their final.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not a case of if they've played their final, but then again, the job's not done.
Yeah, look, sometimes a tournament is won in the quarters or the semis. We've seen that before, but I'm not going to add anything more to that sentence. Of course, there were some individuals who really did have to put their hand up. Abu, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I think Eben Etzebeth, for me, was out-and-out man of the match. They're just this human spirit, but one player in particular saved us that game, and his name was Cheslin Colby, and we're going to get into a bit of a breakdown of his beautiful path to where he is right now. But a game day, of course, is not complete without game day snacks and essential Briar items, or maybe a little bit of caffeine if the games are going to be as late as they were last night. So head over to a Total Energy service station right now to top up on fuel, Briar charcoal, firelighters, snacks and drinks for the big game or any day. And you can earn club points that can be redeemed for cashback, helping you save on those future purposes.
Just like in rugby, it's uniting our energies that helps